the women are coming down with a lot of these diseases. And for me, I think it just doesn't have to do with the woman, but I think that the men also, and many men are doing that, need to step forward and heal that feminine part of themselves.
Yes.
I think it's also time for the men to do their work, not just the women. And another thing that I want to talk about of sexuality in my country too, that I think that we need to heal, that is big, is in terms of different sex partners. You know, because in my country, if a woman is with a woman, it's one of the biggest things that you can do in your culture, in your pueblo. You know, or men. And then again, this has to do with sexuality. So in many ways, in many countries, we're still very behind times, very, very, very backwards. Yes, for me, we can talk about illumination, love, but for me, you know, I always want to bring it back to my communities and what is happening in my communities, what is actually going on here. You know, we need to heal these things that our children see. You know, in Mexico, the father comes back from work in the United States. They live in 2 rooms. Here are the children in the next room. They hear the father forcing themselves on the mother, beating the mother. So the children start to pick up the same patterns over. So they become beaters.
I have a question though. Before the Spanish came, what was the philosophy for same partner? Was that different before the Spanish and Catholicism, or?
What they would do is like prostitutes, homosexuality.
Okay.
They would stone them and they would kill them.
Okay. Because in my culture, I was taught that you fall in love with the spirit of a person, not the physical attributes. And then in our society, to be gay or whatever you want to call it was actually held in very high esteem. We were seen as bridges that we bridged between human and spirit, we bridged between man and woman, we named all the babies, we adopted all the orphans, you know, and so it was held in a very different kind of, so I was just asking for clarification.
Yes, and in Mexico, and that's what I like to look at different cultures. Not be stuck in one culture. That's why I like to come to the United States, because I like to really witness and look and see how the psychology here. Because in Mexico, when you get like for me, it's very hard in my spiritual circles, and they're mainly male grandfathers. We do not talk about homosexuality. We do not talk about that. It is like
that's interesting.
Taboo.
In the Andes, it's very different.
Yeah, not in Mexico.
In the Andes, you're seen as somebody who has a twin soul, somebody who has a clear access even to spirit. So it's not only tolerated; it's part of the culture. The same-sex relationships, they're accepted, and they're natural. They're
natural,
not seen as unnatural. So why don't we tighten up a little bit? You have one more thing you want to say? And then
one thing we haven't addressed is the children, and I think it's odd for women not to have addressed children.
Let's go. How are we doing with tape?
We're doing. I'm going to have to change the reel, but there's 2 things happening. The sun is about to come down here, and that causes a wind inversion. Which is already starting to blow the mic. She's getting tired. She's been holding that thing for an hour. And so I think we should wrap it up.
Okay.
I got about 5 minutes of tape here. I don't know if I should change the reel or let you guys go or whatever you want.
Why don't we have Brooke talk briefly about the children, and then we'll light a pipe and do a little pipe between us, just so we do something without sound.
Okay, sounds good.
Talk to the group.
So one of the things that we haven't really spoken much about is what I think is one of the most amazing gifts that's happening in this time that will cause transformation, that will allow transformation, and that's these amazing children coming in. These crystal children, indigo children. When I think about the powers that be and all of the financial and corporations and all of that, and then I look into the eyes of these amazing young children who are so magical, who carry love, oneness, wholeness, connection to the earth, all of those things, that is one of the most profound gifts I believe we're being given in this time. And as women, as grandmothers, as the feminine nurturing energy, I believe that we really need to nurture these children because they have the challenges that you're speaking of, that modern world, the television and all that calls them. And many of these children come in and they are suicidal.
And they're medicated.
Yes, and they're medicated and they feel like they came to the wrong place. And I believe we need to say to them, no, you came to help us create the right place.
Right.
Your energy is coming in to make a difference. Because I believe that they will have, I've seen vision, I've been shown vision 20 years ago of children, you know, this tall, doing magic, doing amazing things to change the pollution, to teach us new ways. I believe they have such remarkable intelligence. And if we don't pay attention to them, if we don't nurture them, if we don't show them the kind of spirit and all of these things we're talking about, help them connect to the mother, do all of these things, then we're really not doing our job as women and as the feminine. Because I believe that they're the gold. They are the new being. They are the new people. And I believe in the Mayan way. Someone said to me, one of the teachings is that we will see the first true human beings in 2005. And interestingly enough, Edgar Cayce, the American prophet, you might say, said the same thing. He said, we will see the 5th root race begin in 2005. So it's the new being, it's the new human. So I think we have much to learn from them, and we're being invited to nurture them and bring them forward as this new human being. And it feels like a very important part of our feminine work.
Can I say something very quick related to that too? You know, when I sit in my elder circle, you know, that the word indigo comes in and the crystal children comes in, and we try very carefully not to label, yes, not to use those words. We know these children are coming in. I grew up in the pueblo that I grew up in, Chihuahua. We had no competition. Nobody was special. Things came in that were special, yes, but you're not special because you're part of the circle. And I think in these times we have to be very, very, very careful, because this is really what we have done. We have worked these hierarchies, and you're special, you're this, you're that. And that's my fear with these children, that we're starting to elevate them, and what happens to the other children? Because we all have our gifts. We all have our wisdom. We're all children of the Divine Mother, the Divine Cosmos. So I tell people, you know, please, you know, be very careful with the labeling, the stereotyping. Yes, they're special, but they're not special. Because if we're going to move forward, we have to move forward as a collective, as the children of the Madre Tierra. One child, 10 children cannot do it. It takes a village.